Hello, Baltimore sports fans. Welcome to another action-packed edition of the Birdtown Sports Hour. I'm Evan Pachado here alongside Brent Moreland.
What's up?
Brent, can you hear me? There you are. A
Yes, I
lot to talk
can.
about today. We got a lot to run down with in the NFL. Got a lot to recap as far as the past week. A lot to talk about, a lot to get to. So I guess we got to jump right in here, Brent. Any thoughts? I guess going back to the past week or what you see going forward?
No, not really. Just big week in the NFL. Give some clarity on the playoff picture right now, going on this weekend.
Absolutely. 3 games left. I mean, the Ravens control their destiny with 3 games left, so that's big. That's definitely a must-have right now as far as the Ravens are concerned. 3 games, win them all, guaranteed at least a sixth spot in the AFC or a sixth spot in the wild card. Excuse me. Also, probably a big chance that if we do win out, we do have a chance to win the AFC North and get a home game, which would be very big at
That'd
M&T
be
Bank
nice.
Stadium. So, um, looking back at the past week, I guess we had a couple things going on in and out of the world of sports with Cam Newton's being injured. I can't really think of anything else that happened off the field in the past week, as far as the NFL is concerned, at least.
Yep,
Um,
that's a good thing though.
but yeah, that is a good thing. And then that nothing with that was poor behavior. So the only thing is that Cam Newton will be out this week. Former Raven Derek Anderson will be in behind center for that game. Uh, but without further ado, let's jump into it right now. It's not a fun game, so to speak, with Jacksonville coming into town, but it's a game that the Ravens must win as 14-point favorites at home. This is a game we have to win in order to make the playoffs. I would say that's pretty evident. Um, do you see any chance that this is a close game or a game where we're throwing in the fourth quarter?
No, I hope not. Denard Robinson's out for the Jags. They'll be going with Toby Gerhart, who's not very good. I mean, Bortles just loves to turn the ball over. They got some. They don't really have any weapons at wide receiver. Their best receiver's been suspended all year. This is a game that we should dominate from start to finish.
Absolutely. I think we go out running the ball, control the clock, put some points on the board in the first quarter. And that's really the big thing when it comes to playing a bad team, a two-win team, is if you can. They may have some hope going into the game, but if you jump out to that first quarter lead up 14-3, 17-3 at the end of the first quarter, something along those lines, it really diminishes their any chance, and they're just going to lay down like dogs. And if you think maybe a letdown game after playing two straight teams that were in the wild card hunt in the Chargers and the Dolphins, you look at a game that may be a letdown, but I
I
guess
could
the
see that if it was on the road, but not at home.
yeah,
Crowd will have
absolutely.
them pumped up.
And you got three former Jaguars on the Ravens roster in Forsett, Daryl Smith, and I can't think of the third one right now. But
Joe Flacco.
no, Eugene Monroe. Uh, so Monroe, Forsett, and I forgot the third one again.
Jimmy Smith.
No, Forsett, Monroe, and
Steve
Daryl
Smith.
Smith.
Oh,
Daryl
okay.
Daryl Philbin.
Okay.
So those three all have reason to play. I mean, they cut Daryl Smith after he was the Jags' leading franchise tackler. Justin Forsett had 6 carries last year and was on their practice squad for the most part of the year. So he's got something to prove. And Monroe they let go last year. So I think there's a lot to prove right now, especially on the offensive side. So we go into town. I think we win this game handily. I hope so. But do you see any matchups you want to talk about or any delicacies of this game?
I mean, Torrey Smith doesn't look like he's gonna play. Wouldn't surprise me. If I mean, he might suit up, but I think he'll be very limited if he does. I like Steve Smith to have a nice game. Maybe Kamar Aiken. I know he's been getting a lot of hype from the fantasy nerds this week. But honestly, I think if I know Kamar Aiken was on the field, but I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe Marlon Brown step up. He's been making some big catches on third downs lately. That is if Torrey's not in. Um, and hopefully we can get Forsett going, and Joe should have a banner day versus that poo-poo secondary that the Jags have.
Yeah, I think so. I think everybody needs to be on their A game and just blow them out from the get-go, get the momentum going into next week, which is going to be a big game at Houston, probably the toughest game on the schedule yet. So I think as long as we run the ball, control the clock, defense does what they need to do. Bortles is interception happy. They don't have really a line protecting him. Young receivers, like you said, with their best receiver out, and Justin Blackman. I have some rising stars. Cecil Shorts really isn't much, but
He's all
Alex
right.
Hearn trying to do something, but they really don't have a whole lot going for them. So Clay Harbor might be their most talented threat and as a tight end. So they don't really have a lot going. So if we can control the pace of the game and win, I think it's going to be an easy game. So
It should be a game that the Ravens should dominate from start to finish. I'll be
absolutely,
disappointed if it's
especially at
a
home,
game that they hang around.
especially at home, especially at home. So
Right.
it should be a confidence boosting game going into the final two games of the year. So let's move forward. Arizona, St. Louis, next game on the slate. St. Louis is 4.5 point favorites. That's a game tonight. St. Louis two consecutive shutouts. I mean, I know they were only against the Redskins and the Raiders, so not a whole lot of offense in those two teams. But you look at a St. Louis team that probably might go 8-8 again this year. They always seem to finish hot. If they can just start hot one of these years, they might be able to
They
be.
could just avoid all these damn injuries. I mean, they're missing three key offensive players. They're starting quarterback, starting left tackle, and their best wide receiver all out for the year. I mean, they play without Chris Long for the most part of the year. They have so much talent there. It's just a shame they can't get any luck with injuries.
And well coached now with Fisher there. So
Yeah.
I think St. Louis wins this game with especially with Drew Stanton behind center in Arizona. I think it's gonna be a low scoring game as the over under would state at 40.5. What else do you see in this game? Anything jump
I
out at
think
you?
I think St. Louis is going to win. They're the hotter team. The injuries are finally catching up to Arizona. No Andre Ellington, Drew Stanton. He's just not very good. He misses way too many throws, way too many easy throws. And I don't know the status of Larry Fitzgerald. I don't even really know if it makes that much of a difference if he plays or not. Obviously, he's still a very good receiver, but he yeah, it looks like he's going to play. But that Rams defense is nasty. I know they're getting a lot of hype. Almost like seemed like kind of like a cute pick tonight, but I think they're going to beat the Cardinals tonight.
Yep, I agree with you. Let's move down the line. Oakland at Kansas City. Very bad Oakland team. Kansas City's looking for a little retribution because Oakland's only win this year came, what, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
No, Oakland won
Uh,
last week.
oh, that's right. They did win last week. But Kansas City gave Oakland their first loss of the year, or first win of the year, excuse me. Oakland going to Kansas City. Kansas City 10.5 point favorites. What do you see out of this game?
Kansas City should break their three-game losing streak. I'd be shocked if they lost this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially at home in Arrowhead. On the road, you never know, but at home, they're still playing for something. I mean, odds are they're not going to make the playoffs, but they're still playing for something.
I know Jamal Charles didn't practice today. Um,
That's
he'll
common
probably
though.
play. He'll probably play. He'll probably won't be a full go, but even without him, they should win this game. I mean, they got a good defense, and they're at home. They're pretty. They have a pretty good home field advantage with that crowd.
Yeah, and probably a top 10 tight end and Travis Kelce. That combination seems to be doing pretty well. So they look to jump off the board. I agree with you as well on that. I don't know about against the spread. That's tough, 10.5. But I think Kansas City wins this game and wins it pretty easily. A game that affects the AFC North. Pittsburgh going to Atlanta. Atlanta's 2.5 point dogs. What do you see out of this game? I know you're going to talk about this later, but
You might hear about this later. It's my lock of the week. Um, I feel good about it if Atlanta can get healthy at wide receiver. I really don't know what's going on. They're kind of ho hum about what they're doing. Roddy White's hurt. You got Julio Jones didn't practice, and Harry Douglas is hurt. I mean, what the hell's going on?
yeah, Julio Jones will play. I know that. Uh,
Are you sure?
it,
He didn't practice today.
a lot of the veterans or players that played 3 or 4 years usually take off today. So I know
Uh,
at least for the Ravens it is. There's a lot of players that take off. So I think he's going to play. I don't really think there's a
I hope.
big
I hope they
doubt
play.
about that. But uh, I think Atlanta's starting to play a little better. I don't know though. Big Ben in the dome. If he has Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant, Heath Miller to go to, and then Le'Veon Bell out of the backfield. I think that's a little too much for a very, very bad Atlanta defense. I think Pittsburgh wins this game.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
if Atlanta has their wide receivers, how are they going to stop Matt Ryan and those receivers?
that is true, but
Their
how
secondary sucks.
their secondary is very, very bad. But at the same time, Pittsburgh a little more proven than Atlanta. I mean, they had kind of a great game like they had last week throwing the ball at Green Bay, but then they have these games where they just can't do really much of anything, even
I mean,
against a
yeah,
poor secondary. So
they got pretty much locked up by the Saints at home. Then they go to Cincy and put up 20 plus points in the fourth quarter. That team is so weird. I think going into that dome, Atlanta played well last week, even though they lost at a tough place at Green Bay. I think they're going to get back on the ball and win this game.
It'll be a good one to watch. It should be a close game. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. If they can beat Pittsburgh, it'd be huge for us. Um, Houston, Indy. This is a good game. A little AFC South rivalry. Indy is 7-point favorites at home. That's probably a big reason why. Can J.J. Watt and that front seven disrupt Andrew Luck and company? What do you think?
Yeah, I think this game's going to be closer than people think. Colts are going to pull it off. I think they're at home, right? I just
Yes, they are.
can't bet on Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's not very good. I don't know if Andre Johnson's going to play. I know Arian Foster's playing, but he's always one play away from getting knocked out. He's just kind of
Mm-hmm.
at this point in his career, he's made of glass. And I think Andrew Luck will get it going in the second half and take over a little bit. They're definitely not going to be able to run the ball in Houston, I don't believe, though.
Yeah. I mean, they don't really have a running game anyway, and especially going against Houston. So you think that Andrew Luck will have a big game here. I agree with you. I think Indy wins this game handedly. Um, Fun game, actually. Didn't think this would be a fun game going into the season, but since he's going to Cleveland, almost a pick 'em. It's gone between Cleveland favorite of one to a pick 'em and back and forth pretty much all week. The Johnny Manziel show, I guess we can call it.
Yeah,
Johnny Manziel
interesting
gets the
note.
first.
I think the Johnny Manziel starting took this line down from I think it was Cincy -3, and now it's essentially a pick 'em. Shows you what
Yeah.
Vegas thinks of Johnny football.
I mean, it shows what he can do if he's hot. If he's another variable because he could come out and rush for 80, throw for 250. You never know, or he can come out and just be finding Cincy jerseys the entire time. It's going to be tough, but I think the best thing for him is that he's playing at home. Although there might be a good amount of Cincy fans there, being that close. Uh, I don't know if Johnny Manziel is going to have the game that a lot of people are thinking he's going to have.
Well,
He's got
the thing for Manziel that kind of in college he didn't run an RG3 type offense. He ran a lot, but he's more of a scrambler. He didn't run the read option, so I think he's going to be able to plug in better as a lot of these scramblers you see they're struggling in the NFL. I think he's going to be able to get in there, maybe create some plays. All he's got to do is just be better than Brian Hoyer, and that's not hard to do. Since he's playing, or Cleveland was playing some very good teams close with Brian Hoyer just playing like complete dog shit. He was horrible his last 4 or 5 games. All
Yeah, he
Manziel
did.
has to do is be a little bit better than that. Get the ball to Josh Gordon, accurately. Let him make some plays. I think Cleveland's going to win this game.
It'll be a close game. I mean, it was frustrating because I do like Brian Hoyer. I thought he was a good quarterback coming out behind Tom Brady for that long. And last year he did well. This beginning of this year he did well because we all would
Yeah.
have thought Manziel probably would have started before week 3 or 4, and Hoyer just didn't give him a chance to do that because he played so well. And it is Manziel's turn. I'm not debating that by any stretch of the imagination. But
Right.
I think that Manziel. It'd be fun to watch. That's as far as I'll go with that. I'm not sure yet
Be
how he'll
interesting.
do. I'm not sure anybody really knows how he'll do yet. But it'll be fun to watch, and we'll be able to learn a lot from this game.
Yep.
Miami, New England, AFC East matchup. New England's 8-point favorites. Miami didn't have a great showing against us last week, so that's probably why the line's so high. And the fact that the Patriots might be the best team in the AFC, maybe the best in the NFL right now, barring maybe the Packers. But are the Patriots? Are they the team to beat right now?
In the AFC, that's for sure. I still think Green Bay beats them on a neutral. Actually, you know what?
That's tough. That'll be a
Yeah.
good game. That'll be a
Honestly,
great
you know
game.
what? I think they are the best team in the league right now. I do.
Okay. I mean, they're meshing on all cylinders right now. Brady's being Brady, winning when he needs to. LeGarrette Blunt's helping from the backfield. Revis is shut down again on the right or on whatever side he plays on. He switches up. So, and
Yeah,
the
Brandon
front seven,
Browner's playing well too,
mhm,
as well.
the front seven's doing well as well. So, they look like they're going on all cylinders right now. And between the Belichick and Brady combination this time of year, it's tough to really doubt them. It really is. So I think New England wins this game handily, takes Miami really out of the playoff chase.
Yeah,
And
Miami going to Foxborough in the winter. Bad
yeah,
combination.
yeah,
We're stupid for neither of us making this our lock of the week.
yeah. But 8 points is a lot. But in a division game. But yeah, I would that would be one of the ones I like. So let's move forward now in a game that's pitiful NFC South. Tampa Bay, Carolina. The crazy thing is, if Tampa Bay were to win this game and Saints and
No, I think Tampa
Falcons
Bay's
lose, Tampa
actually
Bay's only two
been
games out of the.
they've been technically eliminated, but yeah, it is. I don't really care about this game. It's a game of
There's not a whole
thoughts.
lot, especially without Cam Newton. There's
Carolina needs
not.
to win if they want to have any chance.
Yeah, they do. And to be honest, I don't know if that's going to happen. So I think
Right.
Mike Evans has a big game. I think we're done with that game, right?
What's that? Yeah,
I
yeah.
think we're done with that game.
Yep, I'm done.
Let's move forward to another horrendous game. Skins going to the Meadowlands playing the Giants. Another division. There's a lot of divisional games, I guess, being the last 3 weeks of the season. Giants 7-point favorites. What do you see out of this game? I think, and I've heard a lot about this, listening to different sites and whatnot. That I see a big thing out of Eli Manning. Eli Manning going to Odell Beckham. I heard a lot of people doing, and yourself included, is one of these. And I heard a couple other stations agree with you. Eli Manning value, great value as a DraftKings quarterback. Going to the Eli Manning Odell Beckham show might go off in full force this weekend against a horrendous Skins defense. My only thing would be if they jump out a lot and they stop throwing, but who knows with that.
Um, yeah, I got Eli. I'm loading up on him in my 1 week fantasy leagues. Only reason I care about this game is because I'm playing Rashad Jennings in both of my fantasy football leagues, and I have Eli in all of my 1 week fantasy football leagues. Other than that, don't care. Skins are the worst franchise in sports.
They're up there. They're up there.
In my opinion,
Um,
they are number one. There isn't anyone close. Complete, so dysfunctional.
yeah, it's tough. It's tough to argue that case right now. Let's move forward to a much better game. Green Bay going to Buffalo. Buffalo's 5-point home dogs. Green Bay's the Patriots of the NFC right now, hitting on all cylinders. I mean, they gave up a lot of points to Atlanta last week, but as far as their offense goes, Aaron Rodgers right now is the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yep.
I don't know if there's much debate on that. I think Green Bay goes in and wins this game. Um,
I don't
you
think
think
Buffalo
Buffalo wins this
wins. Yep.
game? Okay. Why? Tell me why.
Their defense is just incredible. Eddie Lacy's banged up. I think they're going to be able to sneak this one out. I know they can't really score on offense, but I just got a feeling, got a little tingle about it. I think their defense is going to be able to do some things to that Packers offense, and I think they're going to pull out a close game. If not, if they lose, it'll be close. But I definitely
Okay.
think they have a good shot.
Sounds like we'll be hearing from this game as well for you later on in your
I think
locks. All right. Let's move on. Vikings, Lions. Lions 8-point favorites at home. Vikings. You really don't know who they are right now. Their identity. Bridgewater's hot and he's cold. He's looking decent for a rookie. The running back game is it's up in the air depending on what day it is. So, what do you think out of this game?
I think it's a good game for Matthew Stafford to stay hot and keep the momentum going and keeping them alive in the NFC or North division title race. Vikings are a
Yeah,
sneaky good team though, but I think Detroit's just they shouldn't lose this game.
they are the Vikings. Like I said earlier, they sometimes they look like one of the best teams. Sometimes they look like one of the worst teams. So, but I think Detroit overall is a better team, and at home, I think they win this game pretty handedly. This game, do we have to talk about Jets and Titans? Titans 2-point dogs at home to the
Don't
Jets.
care.
Yeah, okay. Denver Chargers. This would be a fun game to watch. AFC
One of the
West
better games of
battle.
the weekend, yeah.
Yeah. Be a 4 o'clock game, I believe. San Diego's 4.5-point dogs at home. I think it's safe to say that the Peyton Manning streak starts a new streak this week of
Yeah.
complete or consecutive touchdowns in a game. So I don't know. I think it's going to be tough for the Chargers to handle that, especially when it's a warm environment. Peyton Manning feeling a little better in the heat. Philip Rivers is good as well on the other side, but I don't think it'll be enough for Denver. I think Julius Thomas is going to play as well. So
I actually think that the Broncos are going to smoke them.
yeah.
And I think it's going to be on Peyton's shoulders this week.
Hmm.
C.J. Anderson's been playing out of his mind. I'm thinking he might take a little bit of a step back this week, and I think Peyton and Emmanuel Sanders. I know Demarius Thomas is questionable this week. That kind of sucks. I hope he can actually play for fantasy wise. That'd be nice. And Julius Thomas back. I think it's a good week for Peyton to get back on into things and have a big game.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think Denver wins this game pretty handedly, even though it's on the road. Um, a game that was looking like it might be for the NFC West earlier in the season, maybe going into the season this late. San Francisco going to Seattle. Seattle is 10.5 point favorites over a San Francisco team that looks like they're just done for the year. They look like they're absolutely done. I see Seattle winning this game. To be honest, I think San Fran has a little boost. Just trying to play for each other right now, not for the coach, but for each other. I know it's tough
Uh,
going to Seattle, but I think San Fran keeps it close at least.
I don't think so at all. How are they going to score? I don't
They
think
pounded the Gore. I think Kaepernick
Frank
there.
Gore's done, man. Frank Gore's done. He's
Gore
old.
high,
He's
Gore high
old.
combination.
No, they got smoked at home. They couldn't move the ball at home. What are they going to do when they go to Seattle? I think Seattle is going to absolutely destroy them this week. It's going to be embarrassing. I wouldn't be surprised at a 31-0, 31-3 final.
Okay, we'll see how that goes. Um, this is probably the best game of the week. Sunday night game, the NFC East. This is probably going for the division. Dallas, Philly. Philly's 3.5 point favorites. Uh, Basically because they're at home. I think neutral site is probably a pick 'em.
Hmm.
I don't know what to expect out of this game, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. How does Sanchez do in the limelight, a big Sunday night game? How does Romo do likewise? I like Philly in this game, to be honest with you. I really do. I think they control the ball, give Shady the ball decent amount. Macklin and Matthews on the outside. I think Philly wins this game, but I think it's going to be a close game going into the fourth quarter.
I agree on the close game, but I like Dallas in this one. I think Spray Tan's going to have a nice game. They're going to be able to get him going early, and then I think Romo. I know the Eagles have a good defense, good front seven, but I think it was a fluke of how bad he played in that Thanksgiving game. It was a short week. His
Yeah.
back's messed up. It's tough for him to play in short weeks. I think Romo's going to come out and just have a hell of a game, and I like Dallas to win this game, maybe like 28-24 or 31-27 types game.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. I would stay away from this for all bettors because it's going to be tough to see how that goes. I've always been a big Romo fan. I feel like he chokes a lot, and I feel like he gets tough in the pressure of Dallas and the America's team. But I think he's a good quarterback, a top 10 quarterback perennially. So
Hmm.
it'll be tough. I think Philly wins this game, but I would not be surprised if it goes the other way. So fun game to watch. Let's finish off with the Monday night game going to Chicago and another bad team. Chicago is very similar to the Niners right now, and just started off decent, just no upside right now. Losing one of the receivers as well. New Orleans going to Chicago. Chicago is actually 3 point dogs at home to a very sorry New Orleans team right now. Oh, I don't know. I don't know how to see this game. To be honest with you, I need you to persuade me one way or the other.
I mean, you could say this is a must-win game for the Saints, but it's not because the division sucks.
Yeah.
Atlanta could very easily lose. Carolina could very easily lose. They should win this game, but how can you pick them right now? I mean, and then how can you pick the Bears on the other side? It's just two bad football teams either way, and I wish one team from each division didn't have to make it so I could stop caring about the Saints and the Falcons.
Hmm.
If I had to pick gun to my head, I'd pick the Saints, but I think Ingram and Forte both have big games, and I think Jimmy Graham finally breaks out of the slump he's in, and I think the Saints win a close 3-7
Yeah.
point victory.
Man, I think Forte has a big game this week. At least I hope so. I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm not going to say who I think is going to win because I think it's going to go down to the wire, and it's just a matter of if does Color show up, does Bree show up, does Jimmy Graham show up. So there's a lot to talk about with that, but it's going to come down to the very end, I believe. So I think we touched pretty quickly on all the games this week. Not many great games, three or four, with significant playoff implications for both teams. Anything else that jumps out at you with this week ahead for the Ravens or for anybody else?
Nope, it's gonna be a fun week, big week for me, fantasy football. I know you got knocked out in one of your leagues, like a big
I'm in the other
loser,
one. I'm in the other one with you. I beat you to
but
get to the
yeah,
playoffs. Scored a hundo and 56 or something like that. I
yep.
made my team with Le'Veon Bell, Matt Forte, and C.J. Anderson as the three running backs. Well, one is a flex, but that's you can't. I'm not going to say it because I'll jinx it. But it's unbelievable,
That's a
unbelievable. But
that's a
let's
good
let.
that's a good team. Did you win your division?
I lost to you in the division. You started out hot and then just gave up.
Well, you probably had the most amount of points though.
I had close to the most amount of points.
Oh, who had the most?
Three high scores. I don't know. I'm not sure who did, but
Oh, I think that would be me.
all right. Let's jump into the MLB.
Okay.
Big week. Winter meetings in San Diego this week. Orioles really didn't do a whole lot. They got two pitchers in the Rule 5 draft. Two pitchers who look pretty decent, but nothing really substantial. I think you still give them time. This is just my optimistic side. This happened last year.
It's hard to be
The way it was
optimistic.
beginning.
Everybody else in the division is getting better
This
on their
happened last year too. And
okay.
but what do you want to give up? I mean, the thing
Last year
about
we
it is,
didn't lose anybody. We lost 2 starters already.
yeah, but
I can't
I don't know. Well,
the
but
fact
we're
that
also.
they cruised that extra year. They needed him.
I think you need Cruz and Markakis or Miller. I thought we at least get one of those three. It really hurts to lose all
I'm
three. I'll
over the
be honest.
Marquez thing. I'm over it. Don't really mind him leaving. I'm pretty pissed
Who
about the Cruz thing too.
I'm
Still.
pissed about Markakis because who are you going to put in right field right now? Who's your right
I think
fielder?
the Ozzy could have played right field and we could have Pearson left and Cruz DH. I would have been fine with that.
Diaz has got a noodle. You don't put a noodle in right field. You just can't. You
Whatever.
can't put a noodle in right field.
You haven't seen him throw that much. You have no idea.
I know he has a very bad arm. Absolutely bad arm. I think
I
he's playing in
disagree. I think he has one of the top 5 arms in the league.
that's just a lie. An absolute lie. Um, yeah, you can't troll when we're not together doing this. You can't. Actually, you probably can better. What else out of this jumps out at you? I mean, the Cespedes trade today, going to Detroit. The Red Sox get Porcello in return. Porcello had a great year this year, but overall 4.3 ERA, so I'm not sure exactly what he's getting. He got a big upside at least. So
He's all
some other
right. I mean,
trades.
he is what he is at this point, but he's a solid starter, and that's what Boston needs.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think it's a good trade for Boston, to be honest with you.
I agree because they have a log jam in the outfield, and you know they had to get rid of him. And I actually think it's a pretty good deal for both teams, although Detroit's pitching is looking pretty weak right now. But
Especially their bullpen.
yeah,
So, who knows?
I mean they signed Masterson today too. Who cares? I think he's done. I don't know how much he really has in the tank. But then you got I don't get what the Dodgers are doing right now. Trade a young guy like D Gordon. I like D Gordon. Maybe I'm missing something, but they got rid of him. Acquired Howie Kendrick and Jimmy Rollins. I don't know about the Jimmy Rollins deal. I mean, he's an old player now, but I think they're going to miss D Gordon and his steals and his defense.
hmm I agree with you. I agree with you. I think the Dodgers really just they stacked up. They did a lot of good trades. I think getting rid of Kemp was smart for them. They got a lot in return. They're going to be tough to beat out there, but again, they got magic money over there, so they're pretty much
I
printing
mean,
money. But
yeah,
every year
they got rid of Kemp, but they have a lot of outfielders. I mean, apparently
they did, yeah.
this young kid. I mean, this young
Pedersen,
kid, look. Shit, I didn't even. D Gordon had a 3.1 WAR last year. That's very impressive. Jock Peterson. I
yeah.
guess. I mean, I don't know anything about him, but they're hyping him.
I mean, he's going to be their starting center fielder in a team that's juiced full of talent. So if they're going to throw him as a starting
Jock
center fielder,
Peterson is white. What?
no, he's not.
He's white.
He's French.
It's a shock of the world.
I would have never thought that.
Yeah.
I would have never thought that. But yeah, at least as far as the AL East is concerned, the Orioles really have stood pat. But you look at them getting back. They did so well last year without pretty much Machado for the whole year, without Wieters for pretty much a whole year, and losing Davis going into the playoffs. They still have the foundation going in. I think I heard today. I don't know if you heard this rumor about Ryan Howard. I don't know what you think about that. Well,
I'm gonna throw up. If you're saying we're gonna try to acquire Ryan Howard, I'm gonna throw
I
up.
heard they're going pretty decently hard for him. As
That
maybe
is
as in a
why.
DH role, as in like a Nelson Cruz DH role.
Jesus Christ, man. Ryan Howard hit 220 last year in the
Yeah,
NL.
yeah, yeah. He's on and off, but I mean he was great 5 6 years ago. So
Oh, that's neat.
maybe a change of scenery might be good for him. You never know.
No,
Never know. Hitting the
Jesus
short
Christ.
porch and short porch
That's
of Camden Yards.
I'm looking at his stats. 190 strikeouts last year, 223 batting average, 23 home runs. That's
Yeah,
putrid.
it is, but I mean it depends. It depends what you get for him.
Since in
How much it
2010.
takes. I know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be on his side right now. I would not mind getting him just as an extra bat. I'm not sure what you think, but I wouldn't mind getting him. Some other things in the AL, not a whole lot going on.
You're gonna have Ryan Howard and Chris Davis back to back. I mean,
Put Howard
why don't
five.
we just re-sign Mark Reynolds?
I
I
would
don't.
not mind re-signing Mark Reynolds. I'll be the first
And
to say that.
that's about it. Let's move on. You just said you want Mark Reynolds. How about let's move on to some Maryland basketball. You had Now number 19 Maryland basketball team beating NC Central last night by 11. I actually wasn't home. I didn't get a chance to watch the game. One of the few I missed, but Evan watched. Any brief recap?
It'll be very brief against a bad team. They started out
Actually, let me correct you
slow and
there.
slow. The middle was
NC Central isn't
what?
that bad, actually.
No, they have a very good defense. To be honest with you, a
They're
very good
they're
defense.
not they're not a Big Ten caliber team, but they're not
No,
that bad.
I mean they're not. I mean I wouldn't call them that great, but they do have they have a top I think top 20 defense or top 30 defense. They hold
Yeah,
teams to about 50 points a game, 40 to
got
50 points a
athletes.
game.
Yeah.
So we started out slow, ended slow, but in the middle, the last 10 minutes of the first half, first 5 minutes, second half, everyone did pretty well. Trimble didn't have a lot of scoring, but he dished the ball well. I think the best thing you saw was Jake Lehman really coming into his own as a junior, really controlling the team with Des Wells out to be the leader that they need. Rashad Pack did well as well. Hit some threes. He actually did some dishing as well. Demonte Dow with a lot of boards. Overall, I think it's a good game just to get a little more practice. Moving to 9 wins on the year, I think it was a good game. Didn't see a lot out of some other players, but as far as uh, Pack, Dodd, and Trimble, it looked like a good game as well as Lehman. So looking forward to what's a Saturday 11:30 tip off, I believe, or 11 o'clock tip
11
off.
a.m. It's
Jesus,
pretty weird. There's going to be about all of 500 people in the stands. I heard some bad things about the attendance last night. That's
it
pretty
was hard to watch. Yeah,
pretty embarrassing that you can't get people out there to support that game. I wish we really lived closer than an hour plus away. It'd be nice
yeah,
to go down. I mean, weekend games, Big Ten games. I'm gonna try to make it down to a few weekend games this year. I actually really mean that. I want to try to get down there, but weekend games versus at the 7 o'clock tip, it's just impossible for us to make it down there.
yeah.
But it's sad that the students and the people around the area just won't support that team when they're doing so well. And then we got a week off after that, and then we're gonna go to Oklahoma State, which I thought Oklahoma State. I think they're 7-1. They just got destroyed by South Carolina, which is a surprise because South Carolina at basketball is not very good.
Hmm.
Tough game, a true road game versus a Big 12 opponent. Um, they got LeBron Nash. Oklahoma State does. So they got some good players. LeBron Nash, Joseph Forte. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, and then you got after that. Hopefully, after that, we get Des Wells back going into Michigan State into some Big Ten play. So I guess overall, that it's looking good for the Terps. I mean, missing Des Wells and Smotrich for pretty much the entire season so far.
I
Uh,
mean,
got
if
got got a lot to look forward to.
yeah, if you as long as they don't lose to USC Upstate and Oakland in 2 weeks, this is going to be the first year in a long time that Maryland isn't going to blow one of these out of conference games to a
Yeah,
inferior opponent, and that's always good. And they got a nice out of conference win over Iowa State.
absolutely. So if you can get 13 wins going into Big Ten play, 13 or 14 wins, that's absolutely huge. Absolutely huge, especially for a young team to get boost momentum and confidence going into that would be big. I believe going into Big Ten play, you could be looking at the Terps as a top 15 ranked team in college football in the AP poll. So
Yeah, college
uh,
football.
basketball. I'm sorry, I was looking at the.
Yeah, you want to talk a little NBA? Let's give a little NBA
All right,
chatter. The
take
season's going
control of
on.
this.
I'm
Take the
um
reins.
I'm more so into the NBA this year than I have been in past years, mostly due to DraftKings. Actually, won't lie. But
Did you hear? Hold on. Did you hear what was the one player that I can't think of his name on the Kings or something? He was talking about the NBA, and he's like, well, yeah, the NBA. Oh, or no, he was for the Warriors, not Curry, but somebody else. He was saying, well, why do you think we're doing so well, and what can you improve on? And he said, I think overall the NBA in general is just very down this year, not a lot of talent. And he's like, but don't stop watching, guys. So he said that overall the talent might be down in the NBA, which I don't know if I believe, but
that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But anyway, if you can find the name of that player, I'll
I'll
call him
look
an
it up.
idiot.
I'll look it
But
up.
no, a little talk about the Wizards. About 5, 6 years ago, I was the biggest Wizards fan you could find. My interest fell off the past couple of years. I'm not gonna lie, a little bit of a fair weather fan, but all aboard this year. They won last night with a great Bradley Beal tip in with 8/10 of a second left on just a completely busted coverage by Victor Oladipo on the Magic. You can't let that happen. And that improves their record to 15-6. They're now tied with Atlanta for the division lead and the second best record in the Eastern Conference, but you do have. I mean, the Wizards have a really good team. They have young talent in Bradley Beal and John Wall. They got some veterans in Paul Pierce, Marcin Gortat. They got a lot of big guys that can fill in. Nene's been hurt for portions of this season, but you got Chris Humphrey stepping in and playing well. Seraphin, and then they still got Drew Gooden and God damn it, Dwan Blair on the bench who don't even play. I mean, this team has a lot of depth. You got Russell Butler hitting threes. Martell Webster's coming back from injuries. They have a really good team, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them go far. And then other teams in the East, you got Cleveland 13-7, creeping up in the standings. Chicago's 13-8, and Toronto, best record in the East, 16-6. But without DeMar DeRozan, this team really take a step back. He's their best player, and they need him. Any thoughts, or are you just along for the ride on this
I'm
NBA
just
talk?
along for the ride on this. I mean, yeah, I think the Wizards have a good chance to be a top three team in the Eastern Division, Eastern Conference. They look like they have it all. I mean, John Wall's young, Beal's young, but if they can get it all together, I think with the veterans at the front at the top of the key, they look like they can be a team to reckon with, to be reckoned with
Yep.
at least. So,
Just
um,
brief, hold on, brief. I want to kind of talk about the West, just how crazy that conference is. We don't need to really talk, but I just want to highlight it. Portland, they're leading their division at 17-5, but then you got in the next Pacific Division, you have Golden State, who's 19-2, Clippers 16-5, and then in the Southwest, it's incredible. Memphis 17-4, Houston 16-5, Spurs 16-6, and Dallas 17-7. Are you kidding me? That's
yeah,
The Spurs sat their four best players last night versus the Knicks and still won by 15.
but that's another reason why I don't know how great the NBA is right now because you have your 6, 7, 8 teams that are just unbelievable, and then you have teams that just can't win. So it's not like the NBA or the NFL right now where there's parity and almost every team's in that. You got a lot of bad teams right now.
I think
A lot
there's
of bad teams.
more good teams this year than there has been in the past.
Yeah, but there's a lot more bad teams. There's no in between teams. How many teams do you see right now that are 9-10, 11-9? It
Well, I
just
mean, it's early. It's early. I think that'll even itself up a little bit.
yeah,
Obviously, these
but,
teams have to play each other.
yeah, yeah. I agree, but there's not a lot of parity right
No,
now.
there's a lot of bad teams, but there's also a lot of good. I mean, you got. I think there's. I mean, I'm not buying into Atlanta, but in the East you have clear four top teams. In the West, you're gonna have to win 45. You're probably gonna have to win 50 games to make the playoffs in the West. It's incredible.
No, okay, I'm done with the NBA talk. I'm done. Um, what else? I guess we should get into our that's what he said questions. We only did 4 this week because there's really not any any college football other than the Army Navy game. So we both did 3 NFL. Jumped on with one miscellaneous, whether it could be NBA, college basketball, or Army Navy if you'd like. So you want to jump on with that right now?
Yep. Go ahead.
Tail end of the podcast.
Yep.
All right, I'll ask my 4 questions. You can answer them, and then we'll flip roles. First off, the game tonight. I'll start with the game tonight. Arizona Cardinals against the St. Louis Rams. Will there be more offensive turnovers than offensive touchdowns in this game?
Hmm. Um, I will go with no.
Okay, you said no. I'll write that down. Um, Number 2, Joe Flacco this week at home against the bad Jacksonville secondary. Does he throw for 3 TDs? Pretty cut and dry here.
Yep.
Yes?
Yep.
I hope so. Number 3, Browns Bengals division rivalry. We talked about this earlier. Will Manziel rush for 75 yards or throw for 200? One or the other, or both.
He'll throw for 200, but won't run for 75.
Okay, so you say yes. Doesn't matter which one, as long as he does either. And last but not least, go to the Terps game on Saturday against SC Upstate. Will any Terp record a double-double or 20-plus points?
Yep.
Yep, probably the 20-plus points, you think?
Yep.
Okay, so you have 1 no followed by 3 yeses. All right, hit me with yours.
Alrighty. Over under on yards from scrimmage versus Atlanta for Le'Veon Bell, 200.
200 yards from scrimmage. Rushing and receiving. Oh, I'll say under. I'll say
Okay.
under. I think it'll be
All
close.
right. Jets versus Titans showcases the worst starting quarterback in the starting QB matchup so far this year in the league. You got Jake Locker versus Geno Smith. Over under on interceptions at 3.5.
4 interceptions, 2 apiece. I'll say yes. Over.
Okay, over. So not it's not a yes no. So over. Okay, over. Good. All right. And third, we'll go with Latavius Murray had a big game versus Kansas City last time they played. He had 4 carries, I think, for 112 yards before getting hurt. Will he go for over 100 this week and versus Kansas City?
No, I think he goes under. I think they make it a point to make him go under for that game.
Okay. And lastly, will Navy run for over 400 yards versus Army?
I don't know, to be honest with you, a whole lot about this game. I know Navy's a pretty good team, got 6 wins. Army's a very bad team, and Navy runs a triple option with a lot of rushing yards. So I over 400 though. I'll say under.
That's right around what Navy averages.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know a whole lot about that game, but
Under?
I will say
Okay.
it's under.
Alrighty, let's move on to our DraftKings, and I'll start since I'm clearly the king at this. I think I'm 5-2
Yeah.
versus you now. Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of embarrassing. You're gonna need to step your game up, make it competitive. But I'll start off with my team. I'll go with at quarterback. We'll go with Eli Manning versus Skins. All signs are pointing to a no-brainer for this one, but you never know in the NFL. Then at running back, I got Forte versus Saints. Um, Other running back slot got Jonathan Stewart versus Tampa Bay. No Cam Newton, no D'Angelo Williams. I think this should be a good play. At wide receiver, I'm going to go with Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, that's no brainer. Other wide receiver, I'm going to go with Dante Moncrief. Get to know that game. Andrew Luck's new number 2 receiver in Houston. The guy has tons of talent. Another receiver, I'm going to go with Steve Smith. Doesn't look like Torrey's going to play. Then I'm going to go with Antonio Gates versus Denver. He had 2 touchdowns first time they played. I'm going to take a gamble at the flex spot and start Harry Douglas, banking on him playing and one of the other Atlanta receivers not playing versus a terrible Pitt secondary. And defense, I got Seattle going against the 49ers who can't
Mm.
score.
How much money did you leave for your flex to take Harry Douglas? Oh, you
4,200.
okay. Okay. Um, that's a decent team, but this team will be the winning team. Started out as Homer with Joe Flacco, decent price, looking at a bad secondary. Gonna be throwing the ball a lot, at least in the first half. Fred Jackson, I think he's gonna do well. They're gonna run the ball a lot against Green Bay. Try to keep Aaron Rodgers off the field so that he will get a lot of carries. LaShawn McCoy, I've heard him a lot this year in DraftKings. Basically because he can catch out of the backfield as well. I think he has a big game against Dallas on Sunday night. DeAndre Hopkins on the road at Indy, I think he does well. Steve Smith, we have him together. Golden Tate, always got to like Golden Tate with everyone double teaming Calvin Johnson against a bad Minnesota secondary. Tight end Delaney Walker. This is my first time. This is his first time on the Evan Pachado DraftKings team. Just against a bad Jets team. I think he's been the crutch for Tennessee's offense throughout the year. Likes to score as well. And flex took Jimmy Graham. I don't see him getting shut down for a third straight week against a horrendous Chicago team.
I
I
hope you're
think
right.
if I had more money, I would have done the Drew Brees Jimmy Graham combination. But I like Jimmy Graham as a flex. And defense, I took the Ravens. I think they might get some interceptions, some turnovers, maybe a pick six against the bad Jacksonville team. Who was your defense? I forget who you said.
Seattle.
Oh, Seattle. Okay. So, um, so that's
Check in
it for
next
the.
week when Evan loses again. He called off the
Yeah.
Chipotle bets because he was tired of buying me Chipotle. So
We
now we
went
can
one and
bet
one.
for
We
$1.
went 1-1 in Chipotle bets. Thank you very
Oh,
much. I might go get
I'm now
Chipotle right
four.
now, actually.
I'm now 4-1 since we called that off. Funny how that works. All right,
Yeah.
let's move on to our final segment, locks of the week. I had a horrible week last week. Went 0-2. Evan's now 1-1. Our record is now 500 for the year, and we now have the same exact record, I believe.
Yep. You
So
believe.
I'll start off since I went 0-2. I'm going to go with Buffalo at home versus Green Bay +5 and Atlanta +2.5 at home versus Pittsburgh.
Okay. I like both of those. I don't have mine in front of me, but I have the 49ers, 10-point dogs at Seattle. I know you hate this one, but that's
Yep,
probably the reason
hate
I
it.
took it because
With a
everything
passion.
you hate, I probably just take at this point at least.
Yep.
Um, I think they keep it close. A tough in division game to win by more than 10. I don't care who you are. It's tough.
Did they
And
win by more than 10 the first time they played?
yes, they did.
Oh, okay.
And I will take, secondly, I have the Bengals as 1-point dogs on the road at Cleveland. I think the Bengals win this game outright. And obviously, I would think that if I was going to take them as 1-point dogs. So those are my two. Hopefully we do well, at least 3-1 this week between the two of us. Get back on track. So I guess without further ado, you have anything to wrap this puppy up?
Nope, that's about it for me.
All right. So that said, thank you guys for listening this week. I had a lot to talk about in the NFL, getting down to the wire, MLB trade rumors, everything that went on in the winter meetings. Terps playing great. NBA's off to a good start. The DraftKings locks of the week. We'll talk to you guys Sunday evening. Recap everything that went on in the week. Look forward to the next 2 weeks in the NFL and many more. So, guys, have a great weekend, and we will talk to you guys in a few days.
Bye.